when we left off, Spot the Velociraptor taking down Rex for the carcass and begins toward it. Suddenly, Rex gets up, attacking Spot. And begins back to the carcass. Spot knows that this may be the end, and if he battles much longer, he won't survive. So he runs. Now we need to find out what happened to the Allosauruses, who all are alive, plus that T-Rex. All of the Allosaurus pack is lying wounded on the ground. Deathsong has done this to them. Deathsong decides to leave the area. Now we're going to find out how the Allosauruses will make it through. As Deathsong leaves, Quickjaw gets up, but only slightly so that Deathsong can't see him. He looks around, sees nothing, and roars. Timmy gets up, so does Short Arms. They all are alive, just wounded. They head back to their shelter near the cave. As they all go there, the wind starts blowing hard. Suddenly, something happens, but you won't find out what that is until later. Meanwhile, Deathsong the Cryolophosaurus, sees the tree. He wants to head towards it, but decides not to. He begins on a long journey to try and get to the Cave of Blue Stone. It will take him a very long time to get there, but he starts. And as he moves, the wind begins blowing. He knows nothing happens, so he just continues. Suddenly, rocks begin falling off the rock mountain. It's an avalanche. The wind has caused a few of the unstable rocks to fall down. The dinosaurs hurry and get to the safety of their cave. As they all get into the cave, knocks my camera over. Darn those stupid rocks. Okay. Well, it appears that the Allosauruses have survived yet another day. As Deathsong continues his long trek, he sees an Ankylosaurus, only about 2 yards away, and runs towards it. He's been hungry for weeks, hitting the armor, breaking one of his teeth. He continues, trying to puncture the armor. He punctures the armor, getting in and attacking the exposed flesh underneath. Getting under, he does the final blow, ripping out his side and his stomach. He uses his sharp claws to get to the head, and he's killed the Ankylosaurus and begins to eat. So he continues on his trek. Meanwhile, Rex continues eating with his carcass over here, which is pretty much done. One of its legs is missing, its head is missing. He's been eating it for a very long time now, and he believes it's a rather tasty one indeed. He goes and picks up the leg. He wants to eat it the way you might eat a chicken leg, but, he can't because he's scrawny arms. Scrawny arms. So scrawny. Anyway, so he continues trying to pick it up, and he hears a noise. Coming up from behind him is a giant T-Rex, much larger than Rex. This T-Rex's name is the Tyrant. Rex spins around. Let's see. He spins around and sees the Tyrant. They attack each other. Tyrant lunging forward, hitting Rex. The Tyrant runs away. The Tyrant comes back, knocking Rex over. Poor Rex, been knocked over so much. The Tyrant goes and begins eating the carcass. And as he starts, Rex gets back up, knocking over the Tyrant. He finishes chewing, believing that the Tyrant is dead. The Tyrant gets up, swipes at Rex with his tail, gets up, and wobble runs away. As Death Song continues forward on his trek, he runs into Spot. Spot, not knowing what this creature is, backs away cautiously, but slowly. Suddenly, Death Song runs forward, just lunging at Spot out of nowhere. Spot did not see it coming, and yet still gets up. Using his claws and his mouth, some of his deadliest weapons, he continues attacking Death Song. But Death Song gets back. He knocks Death Song down, but Spot is taken. Death Song escapes, continues on his trek. As Death Song continues, Spot lies on the ground, almost dead, possibly dying. But we don't have much time to pay attention to Spot right now, for we need to go back to the Allosaurus. While all the other action has been happening, the Allosaurus and T-Rexes have left their rock mountain in search of more food. So, Quickjaw scouts ahead for anything and sees nothing. What the Allosauruses do not know is that there are two prey animals nearby. The Allosauruses are still unaware that a Pachycephalosaurus named Packy and a Brachiosaurus named, well, he doesn't have a name, are over here. The Brachiosaurus begins forward, but then he sees the Allosauruses, and the Allosauruses see him. Timmy gets up and runs straight towards the Brachiosaurus, knock him over. He drags him away. He brings him over to the pack. He gets first bite since he killed the animal. Then Quickjaw, because he was one of the founding members of the pack. Then Short Arms. They all begin feasting on the Brachiosaurus. The poor Pachycephalosaurus doesn't even know that his companion has died. Packy sees the death of his companion and decides to just move on. He's going to be probably the first main plant eater in the show. So as he continues forward, he sees the tree, the large tree. It's been a nesting place and battling ground for many dinosaurs, but he decides to go for it anyway. He knows how dangerous it can be, but it's full of green plants that he loves. So he moves towards a fern and begins eating. He's eaten that fern and moves on to the next one. He starts eating it when he sees the leg of a Parasaurolophus. He hears Death Song's song. He continues He walks forward, waiting for Death Song, not knowing that it is him. He's lunged at. Using his powerful head, he manages to wound Death Song enough that he'll leave. After all, Packy is a Pachycephalosaurus and has one of the most powerful heads of probably any living thing. He eats the nice juicy leaves and hears the sound again. This time he does not go, however, because he has learned that not to go towards that sound. However, he is ambushed from behind. He hits Death Song. Packy lies on the ground, not dead, but wounded, very wounded. As he gets back up, he chases Death Song, but Death Song is way too fast, and he decides that this nesting area is too dangerous. He eats a little more, then runs. You can't see him, but he's running all right. He sees the rock mountain and heads for it. The old nesting place of the Allosauruses is now the nesting place of Packy. The Tyrant. To end off this episode, we're going to see a little bit more on Tyrant's life, but not for too long. The Tyrant is actually one of Rex's cousins, but neither of them know it. Somehow, they got separated and never from the pack. They forgot all of it, possibly hit by a branch or something, and were given amnesia. They forgot all of it, and they went straight to their old ways. However, eventually, maybe in the future, the Tyrant and Rex may remember this and work together again in the same pack. Thank you for watching The Land of the Past, Season 1, Episode 4, I believe. Thank you for watching. Please comment, and bye.